So back day, and we're going to be trying to emphasize the mid to lower lats a lot, do a lot of lat work today. So with that said, we're going to be focusing on a lot of cable work to make sure we try and isolate those lats as much as possible. So we're going to stay away from those heavy compounds. So we're not going to do any barbell rows today, no dumbbell rows. Just a lot of cable work, really trying to get a lot of isolation in the lats. So we're going to pre-exhaust by starting off with some straight on pull downs, and then we're gonna get into our regular lat pull down. So we're doing 3 sets, 12 reps here. Try and get a pause at the top of the movement, like this right here. Squeeze, feel the muscles activate. And then try and maintain the same tempo on the stretch. Whew. Good set. 2 more of those. Set 2 here. That was only 1 set and my lats already feel pumped already. Let's go. Yeah, so one of the things that you want to do when you do straight on pull downs to make sure you actually get the best out of it is on the stretch portion, what you want to do, you want to think about flexing your lats at the same times. Really focus on trying to flare your lats out and actively engage them. It's going to help to intensify the stretch, right? And it's basically, it's going to help you get a little more recruitment out of get a little bit more recruitment out of those muscle fibers on the stretch portion, right? So you never just want to just carelessly let the weight pull you. So the key, again, to do any lat workout effectively is to make sure that you actively try and contract the muscle on the stretch portion. I know that probably sounds weird to some of you guys, but that's the most important, because I could be doing these like this, where I'm just like, and the weight's just swinging like this right here. This is what we don't want, right? Because the muscles are not controlling the weight. This is just a momentum right here, right? So if I do it like that, my muscles aren't actually controlling the weight, especially on that stretch portion, right? So the stretch portion, you want to slow it down, and you want to try and create as much tension and muscle on your own, and then with the added tension from the weight, you're really going to feel a much better engagement in those lats, all right? We'll go last set here, and then we'll get into our lat pull down. All right, so my mic's probably gonna die. If it does, I apologize for the poor audio. Let's go here. Try and get 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps here. Hopefully. Last set here. Let's get into some seated rows. So with these, normally when you do seated rows, you're trying to pull more so towards the belly button. You know what I'm saying? But with the way we're doing, because I'm trying to bias the lower lats as much as possible, I can change up my hand position a little bit to kind of help with that. You know what I'm saying? So when we're doing this, what you're gonna think about, when you have the handle, right, you're gonna go and stretch, and when you come back in, you're thinking about keeping the spine neutral, maintain an upright position, and then pulling more so towards the hip, right? So you're trying to sweep through. Instead of coming straight back, you're almost trying to create a bit of like a sweep through motion, almost like a U motion, like this right here, where you're kind of coming almost like this right here, right? To really trying to bias that mid to lower back a little bit. Hopefully that explanation helped, but let's go. Let's start a bit lighter in the first set, all right? Because the position that we're about to be trying to go into towards the hip, you're not as strong in that position, right? So whatever your normal weight would be for seated row with the V handle, the variation that we're about to do, you won't be able to move as much weight if you do it properly, because we're gonna be weaker in that range of motion or in that plane, right? So you go a little bit lighter than normal. Kick it up. Yeah, so with this, I'm feeling that all down through here, right? So hitting the lower lat nicely, and also hitting those erectors nice as well too. Whew. All right, so as I mentioned, with this, we don't want to focus on making the weight too heavy. So anytime you kind of try and do any kind of movement to try and bias that mid to lower back as much as possible, it's not so much on the weight, because you want to focus more so on hitting the back from different angles. And your arm positions are going to change a little bit if you really want to try and get engagement as much as you can into that mid to lower lat. So weight and lifting a lot of weight isn't the focus, especially when you do cable work. You're trying to isolate as much as possible, and it comes down to, again, working the back from different angles if you want to hit your lower lats properly. And so that's what we're focusing on today. So after we do this movement here, we're going to get into some single arm rows here to hit that lower lat a little bit, to hit the lower lat a little bit further as well too. So remember, if you're trying to, again, bias your lower lats because they're lacking development, it's not so much about the weight, it's more so about the angles and how much you can control the weight in those different angles, because those angles, your body's not gonna be familiar with them. And when you work the body from different angles, you tend to realize different weaknesses that you have from different angles, which is ultimately the goal, right? So the stronger you can become in multiple different angles, right, the more development you're gonna get in a particular muscle group. Oh. Whew. So on this set, I'm dropping the weight a little bit. I'm realizing that after those two sets, I was starting to get a little bit like, fatigued, and I wasn't getting the control that I wanted on that set, on that last set. So to keep the quality high and make sure that I continue to bias that mid to lower back as much as possible, I want to drop the weight, because it's very easy when you're trying to bias your mid to lower lat and you know, from a different angle, and you start to get exhausted, it's naturally for us to want to resort back to utilizing that dominant mid to upper back. So we want to try and stay away from that and keep the angle the same. So if you find that after a couple sets, you find that, you know, your angle start to change, or you start to feel that upper back take over, drop the weight a little bit and make sure you continue to kind of keep the angle the same, so you can try and keep the emphasis on that lower back as much as possible. Because right now I'm feeling this engagement from here all the way down through here, which is what we're looking for, right? I don't want it to shift too much up into my dominant upper back area. So I have to drop the weight a little bit on that one. All right, let's go. Whew. Phenomenal stretch. Like I said, I can let you feel from here down, I can let you feel that lower back, kind of just that stretch right through here, all the way through my erectors, which is what we're looking for. Whew. All right, so my mic is dead like I said it would be. So I'm just using my regular audio, so my apologies for the loud noise and my annoying furnace. Now we're gonna do some unilateral work, so we're gonna do some single arm cable rows here, 3 sets 10 on each side, and we just really focus on squeezing. Again, when you're doing single arm rows, you should really try and bias that lower lat as much as possible. What you wanna think about, you wanna go from a pronated grip position into a supinated grip position, right? So we wanna allow that to stretch, open up, because again, we go in that pronated, so we go out like this right here. What you want to think about doing, you want to think about going to pronation, allow that stretch to take place, and that pinky should be facing up slightly to really get a good stretch through here. And then when you put them back in, you want to start to rotate. As you rotate, you want to crunch down, contract that oblique, and then you want to try and drive in, and then as you come in, to really emphasize and get a good squeeze, you want to think about turning the pinky up a little bit more, as much as you can. So you want to really try and control the hand position. So again, pinky up on the stretch. We come in and you're into that supinated position. Really try and crank it around and turn the pinky up to the sky. So pinky up, rotate, pinky up, right? Wow. All right, so one last set, and then we're just gonna go straight into, we're gonna do some pull-ups, cause why not? It's always good to do some pull-ups, especially at the end of your workout, right? And yeah, you just 2 sets to failure, and that's gonna be it. These pull-ups are not gonna be pretty, but I don't expect them to. I'm just trying to burn out here. I'll be lucky to get 5, man. God damn. All right. Okay. Nope, hit a wall. I only took like a 30-second break. All right, let's go. Finish it off. There we have it.